What is up, party people? Welcome to the show. We got a lot going on today. Lots happening in our market, lots happening in the market, and lots happening right here in the studio. We're going to dive into it all here shortly, but if you've got a question on your mind about your residential real estate in DFW, you know what to do. Call or text 214-310-0008, 214-310-0008. Are sales at an all-time low? And is it insane to use a term like all-time low? Maybe. We're going to get into that here in just a minute. We're going to dive into what's happening in our market being Dallas-Fort Worth. We're going to talk about hyper-local areas in our market, what maybe you should and could be doing as a buyer, seller, or investor in this market. And we'll probably make it to some things you definitely should not be doing as a buyer, seller, or investor in the DFW real estate market right now. First and foremost, this segment
is brought to you by Patrick Gleros and his team with ABC Bank. You can reach out to Patrick. You can go directly to his website, patrickgleros.com. You can start an application directly there. You can give him a call, 972-386-1231. You can go to toddtremonteteam.com if you forget any of that. But Patrick is who you need to reach out to if you're looking to get a mortgage, refinance, or if you just have questions about what's going on, what his projections are, maybe, his expectations. Reach out to Patrick, patrickgleros.com.
If he had like an NMLS number, what do you think it would be?
308804.
Love that compliance, Mari. Love that compliance. Speaking of Mari,
I had a week off.
Listen, I wasn't even saying you forgot it. I was just teeing you up, throwing you a nice little strike to crush it.
Foothills,
and I thought you did.
Arkansas.
I thought you nailed it. Happy spring break. Welcome back. Hey, folks, we do have a full studio today. She usually yells from the back. We've got full price Courtney, producer extraordinaire.
Woo-woo!
We do have with a mic Mari, as I like to say, Mari Arstein, buyer specialist on the Fort Worth side of things. What's up, Mari?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
It's going very well because you're here.
Is your first name really three Maris? Mari Arstein.
I rarely say just one.
Yeah.
Like someday, Ian, it could be Ian, but it's mostly just the Yanni Donnie and the English wonder himself.
How often do you get called Mary?
Oh my goodness.
What percentage of the time that for the first time someone says your name is it Mary?
I'm gonna go with like 30% of the time.
Wow, I thought it was even more than that.
I still like to do it every now and again.
When I introduce you to someone by email, I'm pretty sure you've seen it, but I oftentimes am MAR-EE in parentheses. Like, here's a pronunciation key. Mary. She's worthy of your correct pronunciation.
Mary.
They're like, thanks, Todd Tremonte. I'm like, it's
Mary.
fine. It's fine. Yeah.
I'll get Marie or Marnie sometimes. People just add an extra.
I get a lot of Tom.
Can I make a suggestion for you?
Yes, but first, when people get your name wrong, how do they usually get it wrong?
EAN.
But they still say Ian.
Yeah. Iron sometimes because of Iron Eagle.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got to be a sports person on that one, but
Yeah.
that's it. And it doesn't happen very
But
often.
Iron Eagle was an excellent series of movies. And by excellent, I mean terrible in the 80s and so great.
My suggestion
Chappie.
for you, instead of MAR, no, what did you say?
MAR-EE. Like if you
That's
pronounce
all I got.
that mayor, then you're just trying. to be
Maybe
difficult.
two A's.
And
Ma.
Yanni Donnie himself, the English wonder, right here in studio.
MAR.
Everybody's-
Mar.
Guys, really-
We've sit on that bit that
No, it really, the introductions there took quite a while, but I'm glad that we got those done. Hey, folks, if you have questions, call or text 214-310-0008. All day, every day, we are the Todd Tremonte home selling team dedicated to helping you buy and sell your neighborhood homes and homes on small acreage all over DFW. We guarantee to help you sell that house over the average price and under the average time. And if you're thinking about buying, we'll save you at least $5,000 throughout that process, usually quite a bit more. Plus, you'll sleep at night knowing someone like Mari is helping you so you don't have all the drama and anxiety and uncertainty, because that stuff's not fun. Drama and anxiety and uncertainty are not fun. You heard it here, folks. Okay, we got to talk about this. Mari, what comes to mind if someone said something to you like, sales in DFW are at an all-time low? What comes to mind?
Nothing, apparently.
really not.
She's in deep thought.
I've got multiple, like, okay, a lot of things can come to mind. First off is like, okay, well, what exactly are you looking at? What stats? Is it inventory? Is it closed sales? Is it pending? Is it...
So here's a quote to help you with that. In January 2025, pending home sales in the United States declined to, quote, an all-time low as reported by the National Association of Realtors. Here's a question for you. Do you think that in January of 2025, home sales were lower than they were in January of 1787?
Yeah. I haven't read this article.
Yeah. So the humor here is when you say something like all time, it opens you up to just, like, it's just a dumb thing to say.
Because it's so concrete, you're saying.
Like, yes, clearly less homes sold when, like, population was lower and when Dallas-Fort Worth was not yet a city. So I just think all time like that is crazy. It's clearly not accurate. January of 2025, thousands of homes sold every month. That was not an all-time low. It usually means like an all-time, since we started tracking that statistic in 1992. Like, that's usually what it means. But they don't say that in articles like this. So then it feels scary and dramatic and terrible and negative.
In 1900, only 36% of people owned a home.
That's right. And probably in 1900, the population of Dallas was well under 1 million people, right? Yeah. So it's just, it's silly to say stuff like that. And it's intended to get your attention. And to me, it's ironic that someone from the National Association of Realtors would say anything like that because it's a really negative commentary about the state of the market. What's interesting is by now, so we're creeping towards April already, very end of March. So we usually, the last month we have a complete month of statistics on is February. But as a real estate sales team here in Dallas-Fort Worth, we know the feeling of March, and March has been a very optimistic month. We know more and more homes are selling. More buyers are entering the market. More sellers are putting their homes on the market. We also know that you can look at data or statistics like that and skew them however you want. We know that even though it feels like there's a decent number of houses on the market and it feels like mortgage rates are higher than they've been for a while, from a historical perspective, we still have very low inventory and very reasonable mortgage rates. And overall, relatively affordable housing compared to many other parts of the country. Now, is it harder for people to buy houses based on their income today than it was a handful of years ago? We also know that that's true. So it's just a way more nuanced approach than writing a headline like that. So let the record show that for the 17,000th time, I think that headline is dumb. But Mari, what's the feel on the ground in the Dallas-Fort Worth real estate market right now?
Right now, it's super optimistic. Okay. We're seeing a lot more activity.
So you help buyers primarily in the Fort Worth market. What are buyers in the Fort Worth market saying, thinking, doing right now?
Well, first off, I think a lot of people are saying, oh, interest rates have been awful, terrible. But like you just said, they're really not that bad in the grand scheme of things. And I think people are starting to come to that realization.
Yeah. Like, so you're hearing buyers... Well, I don't want to put words in your mouth. You can tell me what they're saying, but you're seeing them more inclined to go ahead and move forward and buy.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
So what does that look like? Are they just willing to pay more? Are they realizing that it's not quite as expensive as they thought? Are they excited about buying a house in 2025 at kind of a 2023 price point? What do you think is creating that increase in movement and optimism?
Yeah, I think a little bit of all that what you just said, and I think people are just getting more comfortable with what the numbers are and thinking, oh, you know what, this is what I can afford, and I'm liking what I'm seeing out there. Yeah. So they're willing to just jump in, go for it.
I'm glad you used the word afford because I've said on this show for 6 months, not a terribly long time, but for 2 seasons, 2 quarters at least, that a lot of people have been not buying or not selling because they were afraid of making the wrong choice, not actually because of affordability. They could afford to buy or they could move forward selling and buying, but they weren't because they felt like something about market timing wasn't right or that they're missing something in the media and their friends and people are saying things that make them feel like maybe they shouldn't, even though they wanted to and they could afford to. So I'm hearing you say people are like, hey, I want to, and I actually, what I can afford is going to work out fine for me. So I'm just not going to sit around anymore.
As a team, we just put under contract 8 homes in the last week.
Yeah.
I mean, homes are at sales are an all-time high, right?
Yeah. That's probably not an all-time record for us, but that's a good week.
I'm joking because of the article. Like, no, that's not an all-time high. But that's a pretty great week.
Yeah.
Like, that's
the
incredible.
The average agent in the state of Texas will sell somewhere between like 4 and 6 houses a year, right? We technically have 6 agents and one, coming out of some training right now. And so, that's almost 1 per week per agent if that were to continue, which it won't continue year round. But the point is this: Larry Yoon, or Lawrence Yoon, the chief economist for NAR, commented this about that stat, Ian, about the all-time low. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
NAR chief economist Lawrence Yoon noted that while it's unclear, I put a big box around that on my notes, unclear if the coldest January in 25 years contributed to buyers' elevated home prices and higher mortgage rates, have clearly strained affordability. It's unclear that the fact that it was the coldest January in history might have had some impact on if people went out and walked around houses and things.
I'm going to go maximum English on you here. Ready? I'm going to say that's a load of poppycock.
I like it.
Wow, I missed that segment.
Yes,
We
you
used to.
poppycock. Yeah, we did English terms and translations one for a while.
I can bring it back anytime you want.
Don't. No. We're fine. Okay, so I'm not ripping on Larry Yoon or I'm ripping on the Dallas Morning News. I enjoy doing that quite regularly because their job is to sell papers, not to inform you about your best real estate choices. If we are your broker and your agent, then it is our job to advocate for you. As a real estate radio show, it's our job to give you great information to advocate for yourself until you are our client, because there's some ethical responsibility there. But my goal is for you to see a headline like that and always go, wait, hold on. Let me look into that a little bit more closely. I understand, because this radio show has told me for over a decade now, that real estate is hyper-local. So these big national, regional trends are an indicator, but I don't always trust them. And then I need to understand when I see something like all time or in years, I want to be careful and go, does that apply perfectly to me, or is that a broader stroke? And this, my friends, is a really, really broad stroke. Courtney, you know that we've said many times on YouTube, podcast, and this show that things like weather do impact your real estate. Things like holidays, things like celebrations, things like politics can really skew those statistics. Like November 24 will be really different than November 25. Does anybody want to take a guess why? There was the craziest election in all of our lifetimes, right? Do you think people's focus was off on real estate last November compared to next November? Yeah, I think so. But the statistics 10 years from now, looking back on that, won't reflect that,
consider.
Right? So coldest January in history, yeah.
Matters.
Like lots of snow days.
Wasn't getting out.
Yeah. We're not likely to go look at houses when our kids didn't have school for a week and we were home playing in the snow and hoping that they would go back. Like, those things matter. When you take 5 days out of 30, that's a big statistical anomaly. But that's not reflected even a month later or a year later when you compare year over year. So I'm not saying we're brilliant. You don't have to be a genius to figure that out. I am saying I don't hear a lot of other people talking about it.
It's sort of a good just takeaway about life.
Yeah, it's
like
never
to
as
dig
simple
in a
as
little
presented.
more
Yeah.
of how like someone's just trying to get a response from you.
Ian, would you like to take 30 seconds and comment on Mari's fantasy football consequence and how she's kind of cheating a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, if I can accurately describe
she ordered
this,
a new one.
The consequence was the winner, in this case Todd, got to choose.
That didn't work out the way we planned it.
The phone case for the loser, in this case Mari.
That also did not work out the way I planned it.
And what we see is from the...
Hold it up for the YouTube friends.
behind of an individual that goes to the gym, a cartoon character.
Wait, give it a little.
There you go.
We've got an animated man flexing with a backwards view of his backside.
Where the
full body, head to toe.
backside was, before it fell off, a blown up cushy booty.
Squishy,
There you go.
A squishy, rubbery booty.
But now
Mari
he's got red
claims-
underwear, which is better.
I'm
probably.
I'm not saying it fell off because Mari, was touching it too much. I'm just saying it did fall off. It did fall off.
Claims
I
it just fell
blame
off.
my roommate's dog.
Okay. Well, a new one has been ordered.
Nibble.
A new one has been ordered.
And I have ordered
I'll
a new
allow
one
it.
with
I'll allow
a
it.
squishy bum on it.
Talking of dogs,
Oh, boy.
I've got a little English phrase of the week that I'd like to give you.
Oh gosh, make it quick.
You open the door. Who would like to guess what it means when I say I got to go see a man about a dog?
You're going to the bathroom?
That is it.
Yeah. That one made it across the pond. That one. Now,
I use it all the time though in just like any task I've got to go do
Yeah.
that I don't really want to go into details with it. It's just like, no, I'm going to go see a man about a dog.
let's check with
good transition.
Let's check with Mari. I think the American version of that, and we're so far off track, is I got to see a man about a horse.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
As the equestrian
I've never heard that.
in the crowd. Well, Louisiana.
We're going to get into some more equestrian stuff later, Todd.
I'll let it go.
Mari got that one. Thank you. All the way from the northwest down to the south. We both got that one. Okay. Listen, here's another headline that I want to talk about that could apply to anyone selling a house in DFW, all across DFW. Okay. You put your house on the market, it fails to sell. You see a neighbor's home go on the market, and then it comes off and it goes back up with another sign. Or maybe you have noticed that we have some insanely priced houses in our market. And Ian, you may want to pull up some specifics here if you're into that sort of thing. On the single highest priced house in all of DFW right now.
I've got it.
It was on the market, Mari, and then it went off the market. And then it came back onto the market with a higher sales price.
Well, I want to play this game though. What do you think it was originally listed at, Mari?
What's it currently listed at?
Wow, that's the second
Okay,
question.
okay, go ahead.
Like the first time it
Yeah.
was listed,
It was not the highest price before. It is the highest price now.
I think 16 million.
She knows. She's done her
No,
homework.
it was
'Cause
47.
Okay.
40
Originally was 47.
7 million.
47 million. What is it now?
I know, so I can't answer. I mean, I could have faked it, but I wouldn't do that to you.
Now it's higher.
Yes. Now the single highest priced home.
62.
Ooh, it's so close.
So
Little
close.
high. Little
64.
high. Oh, a little low. 64. Okay, so it was on the market for $47 million. Goes off the market, comes back at 64 milski, as my dad would say.
Only 17 milskis more.
It's only a bump of 17 million. What's 17 million among friends? Okay, so we're not here to talk about this house, although go look it up. It's absolutely gorgeous.
If you're looking for a 10-bedroom,
Originally
12
built-
bathroom house.
Originally
it's
built by
yours.
an Italian count. Okay, so here's the thing.
P.O. Crispy.
Here's the question. Why would a house that was on the market for a while and did not sell ever come back onto the market for a higher price? Logic would tell you, well, if it didn't sell, you probably need to price it lower.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Daniels, in theory, why would that ever happen?
Well, prices go up. So in theory, valuation
So
would have gone up.
one option is that, well, it was off the market, but it's been a while, and over
Correct.
time, the property value went up 17
The other
million.
option
work
would
on
be
it.
that they've done some work on the house.
Yeah, the $47 million house, they touched up some sheetrock. They
It was a fixer-upper.
It's a bit of a fixer-upper. Okay, I'm going to say this. There are 3 reasons a house doesn't sell. 3 reasons, and barring some very rare situation, only 3 reasons a house doesn't sell. Would you like to hear them?
Yes.
Okay. Price.
That would have been fun if you said no, though.
Yeah. Price. Now she specializes in buyers. So price, condition, and marketing. Price, condition, or marketing. Okay. Who's responsible for pricing a house if you have a seller and a real estate professional? It's a trick question. People will answer this question differently.
Me.
Okay. I agree. You are the owner. It is ultimately your final decision. Now, what should the real estate agent do?
Guide me.
They should guide you, lead you. They should have data. They should have
Convince
a feel
me
for the market.
otherwise.
It should not just be, you tell me what you want and I'll try to go get
But
it.
listen, I'm coming in hot with my feelings.
Yeah.
This place is worth it to
No
me,
doubt.
and I
But
want to make a lot of money.
This tile was imported from Sicily
and
via Floor & Decor. Okay. The reality is this. Sadly, many agents, in order to get that listing, in order to get the opportunity to be associated with that listing, to put a sign in the yard, and I don't mean this one, I mean any home for sale, are deferring to the seller who are actually not an expert on property value. They've talked to their neighbor and their neighbor said, well, ours sold for this, and maybe it did, maybe it didn't, right? So oftentimes it was just simply priced incorrectly the time before, or something about the condition was off. And maybe it wasn't in bad condition, but it had a feature, or it was emphasizing a feature that is not highly marketable or not marketable to enough people. And then, of course, there is the marketing piece, which is normally the reason. We at the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team actually quite regularly have people call us and say, I use my friend, I use a family member, I use the person that I used 20 years ago, and I was hoping to save a buck. I was hoping to get it done quickly. I was hoping to help a friend. But I now know that I should have called you, the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team. I should have used your 7-step proprietary marketing system. I should have used the full-time, dedicated, specialized pro. So can you come help us? And they are expecting us to say, well, you already tried and failed, so we need to lower the price. We already tried and failed, so we need to offer more incentives. And they are shocked, not all the time, but quite often, when one of our specialists says, well, actually, I think we should go up in price. I think we should do this or not do that. And I think we can get it sold fairly quickly.
The library was imported from France.
The whole
Does that mean
library?
the books are going to be in French? Seems problematic.
It's a fair enough question. It is a distraction, but it's a fair enough question. Now, we are often saying to them, this is what we will do differently in order to find the ideal buyer. We have a whole process, 7-step proprietary process with hundreds and hundreds of parts of those 7 steps, right? So quite often, John and Jeremy on our team are telling someone, hey, I know your house was listed at 800. I think we can get 875 or 880. I know your house was listed at $1 million. I think we can get 1.2. I know your house was listed at 450. I think we could get 525. And they're going, no way. It was on the market for 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. And then sometimes 10 days, 20 days, 2 days, 40 days later, they're sitting there at closing with an extra 20 grand, with an extra 100 grand, with an extra 3 months of their life back. So the reality is, it's almost always, there are rare extenuating circumstances. Almost always price, condition, or marketing, and usually it's marketing. And I would include inside marketing like the things the agent does: marketing, negotiation, positioning, facilitating all of those transactional details. So if you've been in a situation like that and you're like, I would like my house to go back on the market and get more, or I would like my house to go on the market and actually sell and not suffer that waiting period without results, give us a call. 214-310-0008, 214-310-0008, or just go to toddtremontiteam.com.
And if you haven't checked your home or your auto insurance recently, reach out to DP Lambert, dp.lambert, Lambert, at goosehead.com. He's going to be your guy for getting you the best price on insurance.
No doubt.
With the most coverage possible. dp.lambert at goosehead.com.
Hey, don't forget,
Google Todd Tremonti and check out over 700 5-star reviews.
welcome back, party people. Thanks for hanging with us through the break. We got more DFW Real Estate Weekly right here on WBAP. Hey, by the way, if you ever miss us on the old radio, catch us on the new pod, as the kids are saying, the podcast, folks, wherever you get your podcast. You just look up DFW Real Estate Weekly with Todd Tremonti. Why would we name it such a long name? Well, here's the answer. So it's easy to find. You can look up my name. You can look up DFW Real Estate. But the name is DFW Real Estate Weekly with Todd Tremonti. So you can find it wherever you find your podcast, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, whatever you're into.
Then hit the little subscribe button, and then guess what? It will magically appear in your feed every single week.
That's right.
Without you having to do a single
Easy
thing.
button.
Now, Courtney, would you grab the microphone? Because I know you're going to love this. We did it with Jeremy last time, but Ian was out. Would you like to tell Ian what one of our loyal listeners said?
Ian, they love me. Jeremy went on a what?
A marketing initial consultation.
And as he was leaving, the guy goes, I just gotta tell you, I love that full price Courtney on that radio show. I mean, y'all are great and everything. She doesn't know anything about real estate.
He's not wrong.
Just to be clear.
He goes, Dan, I'm gonna have to tell her.
He was like, I can't believe I'm going to have to
It's too
celebrate
good.
this. Yep.
It was just the most.
I'm glad that since
I'm gonna
you've
send you the clip.
Great. I'm glad that since you've been told that, you've taken the time to learn what it is that Jeremy does.
Guys, I'm just leaning into the Mickey Bicky TikTok joke.
Yeah.
Guys.
Leaning all the way in.
No one takes a joke around here.
Listen, we love you. You're our Courtney.
I'm yours.
Like, if you were someone else's Courtney, we'd have more questions, but you're our Courtney.
That's it.
That's right. Full price, everybody. Full price Courtney right here every Saturday, 3 to 4 p.m. or whenever you want on the podcast or the YouTube channel. Just search Todd Tremonti or DFW Real Estate Weekly with Todd Tremonti. I think we've said enough about that. So if you want us to talk about what you need,
about it.
you call or text us with your questions about buying a house, selling a house, investing in a house, or simply enjoying the home you've got, whether you own it, rent it, or live on someone's couch. We can talk about it. 214-310-0008. That's 214-310-0008. Call or text with anything we could help you with, anything we could add value in your life, in or around your real estate, or you can find us online at toddtremontiteam.com.
And for all of our past clients, you get to actually talk with Courtney on a regular basis.
Yep. If you'll pick up your phone or respond to your email, you can talk to the one and only Full Price Courtney. Now, this first segment, I don't know if you've caught on by now, but after about a decade, the first segment of each big chunk of the radio show is and has always been brought to you by
Mr. Galeros, Big PG, Patrick Galeros. That's who you need to talk to when it comes to mortgages, refinancing, investment properties. Reach out to Patrick. Just go to patrickgaleros.com. You can start an application on his website right there. You can get more information from his website. If you want to call him, do it. 972-386-1231. NMLS number 308804. And if you forget any of the vendors we talk about, just head over to toddtremontiteam.com, click on the radio tab, and you will find all of our recommended pros and vendors right there. And tell you what, while you're there, why not click on the home valuation tab? And in less than a minute, you can find out what your home would sell for, rent for. It's going to tell you what sort of equity you've got. It's going to give you regular updates.
What if I wanted, like, just to know what somebody would pay me for my house cash
Just
right
click
now?
the cash value.
Oh, that's an option right
it's
there.
It's an option right there. Do the home valuation.
Sounds
It's going to give you a little dashboard, a little
Mari,
fancy
do
thing.
you
And then
know?
click the button.
Do you know right now what your under 1 minute property valuation is?
For my house?
Yeah, you should do it right now.
Do it right
Let's
now.
see how
Go
long
right
it takes. Ian,
My goodness. Okay.
hold on. Ian's going to time you.
Get my
stand
man
by.
phone.
Ian's going to time you. What you can put the mic down if you want to use
Okay.
two hands on that cell
Stand
phone.
by.
Okay, so Mari's going to do that. Ian's going to time her. Don't start yet. Value this. I mean, go to toddtremontiteam.com, toddtremontiteam.com, and then click the home valuation tab. All right, while she's doing that, folks, I don't know if
Ready, steady, go.
if you're on the Fort Worth side of the Metroplex, we are about to dig into what's happening over there. If you're not on the Fort Worth side of the Metroplex, you need to stay with us and pay attention, because Fort Worth in many ways is an indicator of the health of the overall DFW market. And we're going to tap Mari's on-the-ground local market expertise as someone who's helping buyers and sometimes sellers too on the Fort Worth side, out in Aledo, Benbrook, Weatherford, White Settlement, sometimes Burleson, even Arlington, the Fort Worth side of things. Mari is one of our go-to gurus. So we're going to dig in, ask her some questions. If you have questions about anything in the market, especially that side, call and let us know right now. 214-310-0008 or online at toddtremontiteam.com. What's the time? What do we have?
42.1 seconds.
Okay, it took Mari 42.1 seconds. You do not have to share with the world the value of your property, but How do you feel about the amount and quality of the information you just got?
I thought it was fast, and I think it's a fair assessment.
Okay,
3.6 million? What?
So millions.
Wait, how much money are we putting on how fast John reaches out to her to see if he can
I
set
hope
up
it's
an appointment?
right now. I'll be so proud. So what Mari just did, do you want to just tell them? What did you type in? What happened? How did that work?
Yep. So I went to the website.
Which is?
ToddTremontiTeam.com.
Okay. And then you did what?
Entered my address.
Like, did you have to scroll around and go looking for something, or did you hit a button or a link? Where'd you go?
It was home valuation.
Right at the top.
Yep.
Okay.
And then-
On mobile. You're doing mobile.
Yep.
Right.
On my phone. Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then type in your address, and it'll auto-populate.
So you typed in your address, and then it said, okay, that address has this many bedrooms and bathrooms and square feet, right?
It didn't ask me all the questions.
It had it though, right?
It already had, because I've done it in the past.
Okay.
So it already had it.
Okay. And it will have it even if you haven't done it in the past, but it's possible that the automated data could sometimes be, it's usually right, but it could be a little bit off if the public data wasn't right. So you would have had a chance to correct it, but you didn't have to do that.
Correct. Yep.
So then you basically said, yep, that's all good. Mm-hmm. And then it offered you what information?
It said, list your home with us. It gives us a little range.
Okay. It gave you a range of value. Like on the high end, it could sell for this, and the low end, it could sell for that.
Right.
Okay.
And then sell your home for cash. Look who's calling me.
Yeah.
No.
He is incredible.
Now, by the way, if you don't want to talk to a real estate agent, you can totally still do this process. We're not going to beat you up if you take advantage of this. But we usually reach out and say, would you like a more customized valuation? Because sometimes Mari might say, look, she's a real estate professional with a license. She's like, I know the value of my house, and this is a little low. Or she might say, this is a little high. So then if our team says, hey, would you want a fully custom value? She might pick up that call or text him back and say, hey, would you like a deeper dive value? She might say, hey, we added a bedroom, or we converted the garage, or we actually just added all new wood floors and granite. Okay, well, we'll customize or update that valuation for you. So I love it. 41.2 seconds, whatever it was.
42.1.
She had an opportunity to say, yes, I'd like a cash offer, or yes, I'd like to sell my house, or no, I just want some more information, or I'm good. Thank you. Don't need anything else. Right. So at your pace. Love it. Okay. Hard transition. I asked you earlier in the first half of the show, before the break, what's the vibe on the ground in the market? And you basically said buyers are a little more optimistic. There's more activity. Now, specific to Fort Worth, because Mari's on the Fort Worth side, specializing in home buyers on the Fort Worth side, and then also working with our agents that specialize in sellers on the Fort Worth side at times. How does Fort Worth feel right now compared to, say, last year or just, 6 months ago or whatever? Does it feel values going up, values going down, more buyers, more sellers, less buyers, less sellers, more development? Like, just what's the feel of Fort Worth specifically right now?
Yeah. So we've been hovering in between a balanced market, leaning into a buyer's market. And that'll depend on price point, of course, and some other factors.
Statistically speaking.
Yeah.
Now, does it feel that way from agents and buyers and sellers too? Does it feel like buyers have a little more leverage and sellers are having to give a little bit more?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
so sometimes the stats and the feeling on the ground don't line up. You're saying they do line up. So go ahead.
Yep. And then I would say within the last couple of weeks, like you said, activity has picked up.
Okay.
And so I'm seeing more like, hey, we're expecting multiple offers on homes. Real fresh, real new, but I think activity is picking up a lot.
Okay. Do you feel like that's happening on pretty much every home your buyers are interested in, or just the best ones, or just certain areas, or what?
I would say just the best ones.
Across lots of different areas.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I see. And I see it everywhere in DFW. Without exception. This market is what I call a logical market. That has not been the case for the majority of the last 10 years. It's logical, meaning if you have a nicer house in better condition, priced better, marketed better. Remember in the first half, we said homes don't sell for 3 reasons. Well, they do sell for those 3 reasons too.
Right.
So if your house is in better condition, better priced, and better marketed, it's going to sell faster with more offers and more attention right now.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if your house, it may be kind of the same house, but it's not in the best condition, or it's not presented in the best condition, and it's priced awkwardly or not so strategically, not even necessarily like a terrible price, but not the pricing strategy is not done real well, or it's not marketed very well. You're saying those homes are sitting a little longer, or sitting a lot longer, or not selling as a good prices. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
So do you feel like a buyer in the market today in Fort Worth has a better opportunity than last year, about the same, or kind of better in some ways and not as good? Like, if we're talking to buyers in Fort Worth right now, should they like hurry up? Do they have a window of opportunity? Is it like you're glad you waited, or you're still kind of regretting that you waited? What do you think?
I think in some ways it's better opportunity right now. In others not so much. It's actually better for sellers. Okay. But we've seen, like I said, interest rates come down just a teeny bit, yep. And then I think people just have more optimism. So people are getting out there, people are seeing more, and also more homes are coming on the market. So buyers are having more options. Now, a year ago, we were in a solid buyer's market.
Yep.
And so now it kind of depends. Like I said, it depends on the house.
Street by street, house by house, yeah. Neighborhood by neighborhood, school district by school district, right? Broadly, though, the market actually makes sense.
Yeah.
If you prepared and you put some thought and strategy into it and you didn't just wing it, you're going to be rewarded in this market as a seller.
Yeah. I don't think people need to be afraid. And I think people are finally letting go of that fear a bit.
Awesome. Love it. Now, if it's okay with you, I would like to drill down on what I think is one of the more interesting areas in the Fort Worth market, and that's Weatherford.
The cutting horse capital of the world.
It is.
There he is. There he is, folks. By the way, you may not know this. Mari over here is quite the equestrian. She's got the horse love and the horse knowledge. Okay, now let's do this. Randy Galloway, legendary Dallas-Fort Worth sports writer and for a long time radio man, loved to pronounce the name of this town differently than most. Many call it Weatherford. He liked to say Weatherford. So Mari, just broadly tell us a little bit about Weatherford.
Weatherford. Okay.
Or Weatherford, as most people say.
Yeah. It is intriguing. I like Weatherford a lot. As Ian said, fun fact, it is the cutting horse capital of the world.
Anybody watch Yellowstone? They do a lot of cutting horse stuff on that show with the value of horses and things. That's happening out in Weatherford.
It's also the peach capital of Texas.
Really?
Yeah. And they do a festival every year. So they've got some really fun events.
Note that for the old podcast festival segments. Also, I'm going to have to take Dana out there because she loves peaches. Back to you, Mari.
Can you go ahead and start the podcast festival segment?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hit it.
But because, they've got horses out there and they've got peaches out there and there's a lot of land.
Yep.
There's a lot of, which I think is a huge draw for people, both coming from different states and coming just from Fort Worth area or within Texas. People want space. People want privacy.
Amen to that.
Yeah. But it has kind of a little bit for everything. So if you look at just what's sold in the last couple of years, you've got townhomes at 0.03 of an acre. And then you've got ranches, like a ranch that's 200 acres.
Right.
It's got it all.
Yep.
It's got all of
so
it.
I would argue that as someone who's been selling real estate in DFW for 20-something years, we've been a team 20 years this year, and we weren't a team in the very beginning. So my understanding of Weatherford, I've never lived in Weatherford, has evolved quite a bit. It used to feel, quote, way out there, right? And some of that has to do with literally like road construction and the development of cities in between DFW or Fort Worth and Weatherford. Now it feels right there. It feels like it's just not that far of a drive. So both of those populations, folks that have grown up living in or have spent their kids in elementary school years or whatever in Fort Worth or in the mid cities or whatever, are now like, Weatherford is not that far. Let's go get more land, more peace of mind, but we don't have to sacrifice restaurants, shopping, movie theaters, like all the things we need. Right. That's how I view what you just said, which is like, it's got it all. It maybe doesn't have 5 of everything, but it's got everything you need. And by the way, if there is some really unique thing like a museum or a professional sports team, That drive is not a big deal anymore. So when you're making a normal midday drive from Fort Worth to Weatherford, what do you call the average on that?
20, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
I live in West Fort Worth, and it takes me, I think, 14 minutes to get to HEB.
Yeah. I was going to say ballpark 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That, to me, used to feel like 30 plus for sure. And although that's only a 10-minute difference, on an all-the-time regular deal, that feels different. I feel like people are like, I want to live in Weatherford and work in Fort Worth. I love the culture of Fort Worth, but it's not the small town it once was. It is a really big city, like ranks on top cities, that is still trying to act like a small town. But more and more people like actually want to live over there in Weatherford, which still kind of is a smaller town. But I still want to be attached to Fort Worth. And you can totally do that in Weatherford.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So what are like, just broadly, what do property values kind of look like in Weatherford? What does it cost to like enter that market? And then how high does some of the really incredible, gorgeous stuff get to?
So like I said, a lot of people are wanting some land. So if you're wanting an acre, 2 acres with a semi-new home, I would say starting around $450
Okay.
would be your starting.
And for a lot of people, that is a really affordable price point, because other parts of the Metroplex to get an acre or more in a nice house is $100,000 or more over that. So Weatherford is this incredible community where you can get one of those townhomes you talked about for in the 2s or 3s, right? You can get a smaller lot master plan community type deal in the 3s-ish. And now you're starting to talk about getting a home on land, one of our favorite things, with a big backyard or a big front yard for under $5. And then let's just say, like, if you won the lottery, unlimited budget, you could go big in Weatherford. You could get one of those tens or hundreds of acre situations into the many, 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 many millions, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There are some show-stopping properties in Weatherford that you don't know are there because they're back in the trees, but you're talking 10, 15 million plus. So it has the full spectrum of housing options.
Yeah.
Right? So your buyers, let's just say, for example, like your buyers that are moving here from another city or another state, they're not moving out from Fort Worth. They're moving here from California or something. What are they loving about Weatherford?
Yeah, they're loving the space, and they're loving that they've got everything still close by. I know we've already kind of touched on it, but 2 weeks ago they opened their Costco, so people aren't having to drive into Fort Worth for Costco.
Having a Costco is legit. I don't care who you are. It's kind of nice.
Costco's awesome. Yeah.
Like you go on a midday when the masses aren't there. You know what I'm talking about?
But they're
Get
still
some
doing samples.
Yeah. She knew what I meant. You don't go too late because then they don't do samples anymore.
Right, you got to time it right.
Yeah.
I've never been when it's quiet.
It's rare. It is very rare.
I went on a Sunday one time. They open at like they open at like 11. Like I was there 30 minutes before opening.
Oh, you don't.
The
ever
line
want
was
to be
around
there.
the corner. I'm like, what in the world?
That's when the business owners are there. Sam's is the
Unbelievable.
same way. Okay.
Okay, but back to
But the out of towners. So here's been my experience. You tell me if I'm crazy.
Yeah.
The out of towners, especially the California folks, are like, we're moving to Texas, right? There's going to be horses all over the place. Well, you might actually get that vibe in Weatherford, right? You might see someone on the shoulder of the road on a horse who's got a beautiful ranch property. And you might live near that in your brand new, super nice, modern benefits house, right?
Right. I have a client who I've been helping in. Well, they've referred me, thankfully, to all their family members. Their whole family is moving from California to Weatherford, and
Amen to
and they're
that.
all getting homes on 2 acre lots, and they all get to be within 10 minutes of each other and go to all the events that Weatherford has to offer and all that.
Living the dream. Now, then there's other audiences, but there's the folks that have been in Fort Worth, or maybe they were in Aledo or Benbrook, and it used to feel like Weatherford, and now it doesn't anymore because it's grown up, and they have added a school, or there's 4 times as many people, and they're going, no, I'm trying to regain that feel, and they're going out to Weatherford, and I would imagine they basically are attracted to the same exact things.
Yeah. Because Weatherford still has kind of the smaller town feel where they've got the main farmers market, and they do a big event for 4th of July.
Yep.
What they call it? Hold on, I have Spark in the Park.
Spark in the Park.
Which
plus,
sounds dangerous.
Plus the whole Peach Festival that my wife's going to be
What
mad
do
at.
I do at Spark in the Park?
Eli Young Band came and performed last
strong.
year. Yeah, and then they've got all carnival rides and stuff like that. I think they had water slides even. And then obviously fireworks.
Okay, we're obviously all going this year.
Spark in the Park.
Probably the Peach Festival before the Spark in the Park. But
Yeah.
listen, what we're trying to tell folks is Weatherford's an incredible place to live. There are many, many, many reasons to appreciate Weatherford. But if you're thinking about making a move to Weatherford, let us know. We'll get you connected with Mari. You can just call and ask for her. I don't want to talk to this Todd guy. I want to talk to Mari. Okay, 214-310-0008. Or you can go to toddtremonteteam.com. By the way, if you already live in Weatherford and for any reason you're thinking about leaving, which not a lot of people do, which is why the population keeps growing, let us know that as well. We have a 7-step proprietary marketing system to sell desirable neighborhood homes and homes on acreage properties, small and large acreage, just like we talked about, in Weatherford or any part of DFW. And you can just go to toddtremonteteam.com or you can call or text 214-310-0008. These are the two things we specialize in. Neighborhood homes where you're like, I really want to live in that neighborhood. I would be proud to live in that. I want my family and friends to come visit me there and host there and those kind of things. Or a house with some significant land around it. Either a really, really big yard or like the biggest lot in the neighborhood kind of situation, right? Half an acre, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 acres, maybe up to 10 or 12 kind of deal. And Mari is an absolute gift to anyone who is buying a home anywhere in the Fort Worth side of things, especially if you're trying to target one of those unique properties that maybe are a little harder to find or that you're trying to make fit in your budget, or you're trying to create that dream scenario for you or your family, or maybe more than one generation of your family. And that can be done in Weatherford, all around Fort Worth, and of course, many, many other places throughout the Metroplex. Just give us a call, 214-310-0008, or online at toddtremonteteam.com. Now, if you would like to reach out specifically to Mari, you can call that same number, go to that same website. But what I want you to do is to go just Google my name, Todd Tremonte, and find our online reviews and go look at the reviews that have Mari's name in them. You're going to hear from people that have just been really blown away by kindness and service and value. And if you're interested in those kind of things, instead of like just kind of a knucklehead agent that you happen to know from college or someone in your neighborhood that has a license, you shouldn't be doing a real estate agent a favor by hiring them. You should get the favor by having a world-class professional like Mari at your disposal. Give us or her a call, 214-310-0008, or online at toddtremonteteam.com. Now, if you're thinking about garage floors, pickleball courts, basketball courts, pool decks, or anything like that as you prepare for the summer, I want you to go check out goodgaragefloors.com, goodgaragefloors.com. They did my garage floor. They did the pickleball court. They're coming back like in the next 2 weeks to do the mastic around the pool, like that little rubbery stuff in the seams, and then to coat all of our covered patio pool deck areas with a little bit more texture for grit and surface, and just to clean it up and make it look better. So check them out at goodgaragefloors.com. Tell them Todd Tremonte sent you. Now, Ian, if someone needed a good title company, real quick, where do they go?
I would recommend that you go over to republictitle.com. I think that you should go there. You should see all the services that they offer. I know anytime I see a contract and it has Republic Title's name on it, I'm like,
so refreshing.
Yay, let's go. Go there, republictitle.com. They're incredible leaders in the industry. They will make sure that everything is above board and that you are good to go in your new home.
If you need anything else about anything or anyone else, just go to toddtremonteteam.com. We're here every week, folks, 3 to 4 p.m. on WBAP, or check out the podcast, DFW Real Estate Weekly, wherever you get your podcasts.